Presenting the world's only business school without the BS.
He be the Z and I be the C. Teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of this show is to help you score. I couldn't see the light until my son could see, but I learned to rock the mic in the high school scene. A young DJ with
all right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. And the Thrive Time Show is all about helping you to create both time freedom and financial freedom. That is my focus. And there is no hocus pocus.
With the brocus.
There is no hocus pocus. All you got to do to make copious amounts of cash is to implement the proven system. There's no hocus pocus. There's just focus. All right? And what you have to do is you got to implement these moves. And so we have a thriver out there, a member of our coaching program called Complete Carpet. This dude's growing. Now, again, Chup, if you look this up, I'm going to put this on the big screen so you can see this, okay? The U.S., this is the U.S. GDP. This is the GDP. And we're videoing today's show as we film right now. We film a lot of the podcasts. We'll put them on thrivetimeshow.com so you can watch the video. Right now, the United States of America, where we live, where we broadcast.
This is this place.
Has a 1.6 growth rate. 1.6. Now, if you think about this, Complete Carpet Care had been in business for over 20 years. And now their growth rate, you are saying, I feel like it's 230%, but you're saying it's on the wall in the office at 260%.
Something like that, I believe.
You're probably right.
I believe.
I tend to exaggerate on the short side of things. I'm a skeptic. I'm a cynic. But the point is, he's growing like, I don't know, Chup, 1.9%, and you think about that versus...
Hey, if it's 230 or 260, I'll take either one of them.
These people are growing 20, 40, 50, 60 times the rate of the average U.S. business right now. And so then the question he emailed in was, hey, I've been running my business for 20 years, and now I need to hire some people. So I need you guys to walk me through the system. And so right now, the group interview is step one, I was telling you. Step one, you got to do that group interview. Now, somebody is fighting me about this concept of doing an interview every single week. Let's walk you through the steps again. Step number one, post on Indeed and Craigslist every single week. Do it. Post it every single week. But if I post on Craigslist, what if they show up? That's right, because you've already scheduled it in your calendar to do the weekly interview.
Right.
Wow, this guy's so deep. Step three. Why do you get so deep? It's so deep. I don't understand.
It's so far down I can barely...
It's like a metaphysical show.
I can't even see you, Clay. You're so deep.
Step three. Conduct the weekly group interview. So step one, you schedule the group interview. Okay, got it. Step two, you post on Craigslist and Indeed every week. Every week. Why do you say it that way? I don't get it. Step three, conduct the weekly group interview, right? Now what you do, you go over the following things in the group interview every single week. The expectations, the communication, the compensation. Now there's some people out there, not you, not people we know. Some people say, I just can't do it. I don't know. I can talk until I can see it. I can't do it. I can't do it until I can see it. I have to see it myself.
You're in luck.
Which is great because you can come out to our actual... See, I own businesses. I'm not a charlatan. I don't make this stuff up. This is real stuff. This is real. These are the real profundities that make the U.S. economy work. This is how it grows. So you just show up. You email us, info@thrivetimeshow.com. You come out to the group interview. You could watch it occur. Okay. Then what you do, if you like the person, Shep, but I want to put this on the show notes under the group interview topics portion. After you like them, you say, if you like them, you say, hey, Andrew, I think you're a great guy. I had a few more questions for you. Sarah, I had a few more questions for you. Everybody else, if we decide to hire you, I will call you tomorrow by 9 a.m. If we decide to hire you, you'll get a call tomorrow by 9 a.m. You two, I had some additional questions. I wanted to ask you some things about your resume that I was... I had some questions. So everyone leaves, not knowing who's hired or not. There's no drama. Then you say, Sarah, you did a great job today. You showed up on time. You dressed sharp. You did great during the interview. So I want to ask you, is there anything on your resume that is crapola? And they go, what? Crapola? And you say, from the Greek word meaning fraudulent. Oh, fraudulent means crapola? No, I made that up. Really? Wow. So then you say, Doug, anything on your resume that's not true? He says, no, it's all true. Because 85% of people are lying on their resumes, according to Inc. magazine. But the cool thing is people that lie on their resumes are always late. It's the same group of people. It's the same group. Then what you do is they say, no, it's accurate. And you say, great. Well, I'm going to have you shadow me, which means I'm going to pay you for an hour of power to follow me around so I can see if you'd fit in here in the office. You could actually do the job for an hour before we commit to each other, right? Think, okay, cool. And that's how it works. Now, once you've done that, We got some paperwork we got to do here. So, Adam, you said you just Adam runs Tip Top Canine in Owasso, Oklahoma, and you've been in business since when? When did you open up there, my friend?
February 5th, 2018.
February 5th, 2018. You're doing approximately $8,000 of sales a week,
Yep.
and you told me you just hired a guy.
Yes.
What's his name?
His name is Billy.
Billy?
Shout out to Billy.
Are you messing with me? Because I joke about Billy a lot
No,
on the show.
I swear. Well, let's officially call him William.
William, okay. Oh, Billy. So you hired Billy, and these are the things you have to do. And you probably know this, but this is what you have to do, okay? So step one, you got to have him sign that confidentiality and non-compete agreement. Have you done that move?
Oh, yes, definitely.
And Shep, we have this available for all of our listeners. If you come to the workshop, I will give these documents to you. You'll give these documents? But haven't you paid thousands for them? Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Because the thing is, my job is to help you execute. So I have no problem giving you all these legal documents. And since I've already paid to have them created, why would I not give them away? What's your real motive, though? Over time, if you listen to about 400 podcasts, you'll get it. My mission is to mentor millions. Step number 2, you need to have them fill out an I-9 employment eligibility form. Now, I tell you what, filling out an I-9 employment eligibility form, it's going to take some time. And you don't want to take any of your time to have anybody fill out these forms if you don't like them, which is why you have to have extreme judgment. So I'm going to go back to Billy. How did you know Billy's a good fit? I mean, because you're a sharp guy, your business is growing, you're a startup that's doing well. I mean, how did you know that Billy was a good fit?
Well, same thing. He came and he worked with the dogs. He proved that he was going to be, on time and do what needed to be done and be able to take direction. That's the biggest thing.
Coachability.
Yes.
Coachability.
Coachability.
I see what you did there.
I thought about that for like an hour. I was thinking, I hope he hires a guy by the name of Billy.
I've been
Because if he
saying
does,
Billy
I
for
could
years.
say Coachability because it'd just be awesome. And it just happened right now. It's like deja vu. Me explaining what just happened was amazing.
Adam, so do you get what he's saying? Your guy's name is Billy, and he's mixing the words coachability.
This guy is like
Yeah,
a deep.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I wanted to lay it out there for
Okay.
everybody.
I'll be doing a TED Talks video here soon about that. All right. So he's
It's the system of Billy. B stands for
but you can hire character and train skill, and he's coachable,
Yes.
and that's as deep as it is.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do. All you need is love. Bum, ba, da, da, da. I got to do my trumpet sound. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Coachability.
All you need is character.
I kind of like my trumpet.
I think we both have good trumpets.
Wow, we really have a great skill that no one wants. God, get out the wood block. Get out the triangle. These guys are going to take the show on the road. All right, so we move on now, Chubb. We've got things to talk about. There's a company out there that's been in business since 1962 because they're hiring good people. And right now, the rains are starting to come down.
Ooh.
And the floods could start to come up. If you got a hole in your roof, you probably want to fix that.
I gotta fix
That's a deep concept. What's he saying again? I'm saying if you got a hole in your roof, you probably want to fix it. And you don't want to get scammed by a roofer.
Come
no,
on now.
you
Come
want
on
to you
now.
want to use a legitimate roofer that's being pitched by the Thrive Time show.
That's us.
You guys are just bragging on these guys because they're paying you. Absolutely. I'm shameless. If you sponsor this show, baby, we're going to get you business. Call Messick Roofing. What's this? What's their phone number?
Their phone number is 918-747-7141. It's very easy to remember. 918-747-7141. Or you can check them out at messickroofing.com.
Can you say the name Messick Roofing like 20 different ways in the next 20 seconds, please?
Messick Roofing, Messick Roofing, Messick Roofing, Messick Roofing, Messick Roofing, Messick
Yes, I
Roofing,
like to say Messick Roofing. To me, when I say Messick Roofing, it reminds me of when I was a kid. I made a meth one time, and then I said ick.
And then he got
it's
sick.
Messick
Oh,
Roofing. Give those guys a call because they pay us a lot of money. I just wanted you to call them.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
It's a Thrive Time show on the radio. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. It's all about you. 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 Yeah. So we bring the boom.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And today we're talking about how to hire good people. Now, how to hire people. Now, the reason why I'm excited to talk about this topic is because right now, the GDP, the gross domestic product of the United States, this is you're basically measuring the growth of the U.S. economy overall. That's what you're doing. Right now, The GDP. Let's look at the GDP. The growth rate.
The good.
Right now, it's saying and let's see, change 2018. So let's see our rate right now. It's at 2.6 is what one study shown here in the New York Times. We're just going to, let's call it 3. Let's just say the economy's growing at a 3% rate.
Benefit of the doubt.
Our average client grows at about a 30% growth rate. So our average client grows at about 10 times the rate of the U.S. economy when they implement the system, which means that growth is good, but now you got to hire a lot of people. Now, I want to make sure the listeners get this idea, and if we get this idea, I think we could move on as in having a very copacetic understanding of things. We have a mutual understanding of a big idea. If you grow a tree, Chuck, have you ever grown a tree? Have you ever seen a tree?
Yeah, I've seen trees.
Adam with Tip Top K9, you're a business owner. You're obviously thinking at a deeper meta level. Have you ever seen a tree?
I've definitely seen a tree.
Or two. Have you guys ever raised a tree? You have a tree at your house?
Well, as a kid, I thought that I could dump Cheetos into the hole that me and my parents planted a tree in, and it would grow Cheetos. And it turns out it didn't.
Was that before or after they stopped you from eating those paint chips?
No. It was, paint chips on top of the Cheetos.
Nice. Okay, so
new nachos.
Work with me on this idea, though. You have a tree, and the tree's going to grow, and the branches are going to grow sometimes in a weird way.
Yep.
So you have to prune the tree.
But see, that's a weird concept.
You got to prune the tree to get more fruit. You got to make sure the tree doesn't grow weird.
Right.
So when you hire people, you need to never stop hiring people because some people get entitled.
Ooh.
And entitlement, I want to look up the word entitlement. I want to give the listeners the actual definition of the word entitlement, Chup. A lot of times we throw words around as a culture. We don't know what they mean. I think words have power. So, Chup, give us the definition of the word entitlement. What does entitlement mean?
Let me get to it. Oh, I threw it on me here.
Oh, I pulled it up faster than you.
You did it. It's coming.
I beat you.
The fact.
I'm a faster Googler. Yet again, proving that I have more talents that nobody else cares about.
You're true. Here you go. Entitlement. The fact of having a right to something.
A right to something. So over time...
Here's a better one. The belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment.
So what will happen is, I'll give you the cycle of typical employee, not your employees, and I'm sure not you, the listener, but other people. What will happen is they'll get a job, and they're excited about the job. They go, really? A job for me? Woo! And then over time, they start to say, wait a minute. I have to do things. Who are you to tell me what to do? And over time, uncoachable, non-high character people start to resent their boss.
But that wasn't in my job description.
Now, high character people never resent their boss because they realize that their boss has paid the cost to get where they are. And they ask themselves, hey, how can I get to where the boss is? Now, here's a problem we see a lot of times, is when the boss is a bad boss, good people don't want to hang around. If you're a bad boss, people don't want to hang around. So I'm working off the assumption your company's growing, you're a good boss, and you need to keep the company growing. You've got to do the group interview every week. That's step one. Step two, once you find the candidate that you like, you've got to have them fill out these documents every single time. You got to fill out all of these 7 documents every single time. And if you don't, you're going to get in trouble. Because there's a lot of laws out there that make sure that employees are taken care of the right way by employers and vice versa. So here we go. You've got to make sure that the confidentiality and non-compete agreement is signed. And again, Chup, why do we have to sign that document? Why do we need to sign that document?
You got to make sure that it's signed in case because employees are going to go out and they're going to try and steal your clients. Some of them, and they're going to try to steal your systems. And so you've got to get that document signed, and if it's not part of your system that you do every time, eventually it'll fall through the cracks.
What if you hire somebody who has a lot of skill but doesn't have a lot of character? Will they still violate an agreement like this, you think?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And typically people who have nothing to lose don't care about the agreements they sign, so they just move right on. Now, the step 2 is you got to sign that I-9 eligibility form. And, Chef, can you look up the definition of the I-9 employment eligibility form? I want to give the listeners a formal definition of this incredible concept. And as we're doing that, I want to ask Adam this, because Adam's here with Tip Top K9. He has a location out there in Owasso. You're growing the business. Is it growing faster than you thought it would grow, my friend? Are you getting more deals than you thought that you would get?
Very much faster than I thought it would. It actually took me a little bit to wrap my brain around it, because it was just like, I can't believe that it's actually taking off this quickly. And I'm going to have to take steps to keep my head from spinning off.
And you're in that virtuous cycle right now where you're getting happy customers who are leaving you reviews, which leads to them you getting more customers because everybody reads reviews, and you're just really, and then the ads work more and more effectively, so you can crank up your your ads, and now it's just a great cycle of growth. So this I-9 form, previous to hiring this guy, had you ever spent a whole lot of time going, I wonder what an I-9 form is?
No.
Chup, what's the definition of an I-9 form?
Form I-9 is used for verifying the identity and employment authorization of individuals hired for employment in the United States. All U.S. employers must ensure proper completion of Form I-9 for each individual they hire for employment in the United States. Boom.
And I've met
This includes citizens and non-citizens. Sorry.
I've met employers in the past who've told me I don't freaking mess with the I-9 form. The way I do it is like my word is my bond, and I do it like everyone's a contractor.
I'm old school. I do the I-8.
What I do is every single person who works for me is a contractor, because what the government doesn't want you to know is the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
I'm saying.
what they don't. I got this book called by Kevin Trudeau. It's like the secrets that people don't want you to know. And I was watching this Ty Lopez video. Now I'm gonna tell you what. You might look at the surface and say Ty Lopez probably an idiot. You probably will go deeper. You'd really discover that this man who runs around on jets, gallivanting around the country with women who was exposing their cleavage while being on a private jet, while talking about the books he hasn't read. He looks like a scammer when you go deeper. But if you go really deep, I'm talking about like really deep, then you'll discover that he's my kind of scammer. And so we Ty Lopez and we share.
He's a scammer.
We make everyone a contractor. We don't screw around with no freaking I-9 form. If that's you, and I know it's not our listeners, but if that's someone you know, go tell them, like, hey, buddy, you're going to end up in jail.
If that's your brother-in-law or your cousin twice removed, you got to tell them that.
You know people like this, though, Chuck. Have you met people like this?
Yeah, a bunch of people, because it starts off you're just trying to find the fastest way to get things done, and you don't want to spend too much time, but if you do that, you'll get yourself in trouble.
Now the next move, 3, you want to have them fill out the direct deposit form. Chup, sell somebody on the idea of why somebody would want to have their employees fill out the direct deposit form.
Oh, you got to do it. A, it's good for the employees. It makes their life easier, right? So it's kind of a benefit for them. But 2, if you do that, then you'll have all the information you need to get some type of payroll service when you have the time and the money to be able to do that. And so then the checks will just go directly into their account.
Move number 4, you want to have a new employee setup form. We have all this available for you. Now, the new employee setup form is basically going over the way the world works, and there's a lot of specific boxes and things you go over. But you want to make sure that when you start the job, the expectations are in place. That brings us to our 5th document, the policies and the handbook. Can you give me an example, Adam, from Tip Top Canine? I mean, are you guys allowed to abuse the dogs and do like violent forms of dog training over there at Tip Top Canine, or are there standards and ethical ways that you are taught to train the dogs?
We definitely don't abuse the dogs. Actually, with our system is we don't need to raise our voice, get physical on the leash, stuff like that. And if we see somebody doing that, that's not the way we do it.
Have you ever met somebody who physically abuses a dog? Have you ever seen somebody do this?
Yeah, I've seen people do it, especially like driving down the road. You see some hillbilly beating their dog in the front yard, but...
And you've actually had an animal rescue where you would pick up dogs in the past, right?
Yeah.
So you're passionate about taking care of dogs the right way, but occasionally as a company grows, if somebody slips, if you do the group interview, you'll never have an idiot working for you. But you want to establish in the handbook the things that maybe are common sense. You need to have them documented. You need to go over those things. And then, Chup, you got to have them fill out a W-4 form. A W-4? Was he one of the main characters in Star Wars? W-4? That was the droid, the W-4. Chup, can you look up the definition of a W-4 for me out there who's really excited? Wow, these are great. These are exciting ideas of riveting stuff here.
Riveting.
But I think that's the big thing about business is sometimes there's not some sexy things. There's parts of the business that aren't sexy, but you have to do those things. And one of those things is having new employees fill out the W-4 form. Chup, what's the W-4 form? What does it say?
W-4 is completed by employees and given to their employers so their employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from the employee's pay.
Oh.
This is a big deal, and you want to make sure employees know what they're doing on this, because if they fill out the wrong stuff and it's a year later, they could be in a big, big, big world of hurt if they are not saving for taxes or doing the right thing.
You know somebody who gets their stuff done right, somebody out there, a listener out there who really pays their employees properly. Who does the proper deductions?
Who's that?
Who commits part of their check to show their patriotism. They pay the IRS. These guys, exciting individuals. These guys love our country. They love paying taxes. It's Platinum Pest and Lawn, Chup. Platinum Pest and Lawn. And these guys are so proud of their service. They're willing to treat you. They're willing to take care of you, give you the first service for just $1.
That's right.
Visit them online right now at www.platinumpestandlawn.com. That's platinumpestandlawn.com. Visit them. If the first service is just $1, they are great show sponsors. Check them out at platinumpestandlawn.com.